Have you ever bought a $20,000 sports card collection? No? Well, either have I, but my friend Darin Harman did just that. And that's what today's video is all about. We're going to share with you what he bought and a little bit of what went through his mind in the buying process, because we interviewed him and asked him all kinds of questions about why, where, how did he get his hands on this $20,000 sports card collection. So stay tuned for a lot of fun and get ready to be wowed. Okay, so yes, today's video is all about my friend Darin Harman and his $20,000 football sports cards purchase. Okay, so he's a dealer. He's probably the biggest Dallas Cowboys specialist sports cards dealer in the nation. He is a Cowboys fan, and so am I, as you know if you've watched his channel, which is a very sad thing to be right now. However, regardless of how you feel about them Cowboys, this was an epic purchase. And it's really interesting because we asked Darin all kinds of questions. Okay, so we're going to start by showing what he purchased, and then we're going to cut to the interview. Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. When I did the interview over Zoom, I mistakenly did not select HD, so it is going to be a low resolution interview. Apologies, but you know, it's not about our faces and the quality of our faces. It should be about our words and what we're saying. So hopefully you get a lot of fun and enjoyment out of watching this video. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you some cards that I purchased. Yes, Jason Witten cards, because this video is all about Jason Witten. $20,000 worth of cards, every single one of them, Jason Witten. So I'm excited, so let's get right into it. Okay, everyone. So we have a special treat. We got to get Darin in the video. We got to talk to Darin. He just picked up an amazing haul, $20,000 worth of Jason Witten cards. And so we wanted to meet face to face and let you meet Darin face to face as well, because hopefully a lot of you will start hitting him up and buying cards from him. So Darin, nice to see you here. Say hello to my YouTube audience.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on your YouTube channel.
It is a pleasure. So Darin, I've been buying from you probably for a few months now. Our relationship and how we've been buying and dealing with each other, it feels like we've been dealing for like years. So yeah, at this point, so I buy a lot from Darin. This is probably my favorite pickup. I did a video on this. Tony Romo, flawless, probably my favorite. My second favorite, this one, Jason Witten. You remember this one, Darin?
Yep, that was a good one.
You didn't want to let that one go.
No, I love the Pro Bowl uniform. Is definitely a go-to right there.
Let's let him talk about, or a little bit about, this pickup he made. But we also want to go a little further back. We want to understand a little bit more about Darin and why he got into the hobby, and some fun tidbits of information for all of my viewers. So we're going to start with Darin. You're a card vendor. You've mentioned that you're probably the biggest seller of Dallas Cowboy cards in the country. And I've seen a ton of your cards, and I would say a good 60 to 70% of them are Cowboys, and really nice Cowboy cards. So how long have you been doing this?
I started in early 2020. So it's been right about 4 years I've been doing this. Right around COVID, it picked up, and I was like, I used to collect cards. I kind of see what I have. And that kind of started right there.
And you're a Cowboys fan?
Absolutely.
Yes. So awesome. You've been doing this for 4 years. You started doing it when COVID happened. And that's when, I guess you could say, the card hobby reignited big time. Yeah. So I'm assuming you've at least seen or partook in some crazy deals. So anything stand out you think is noteworthy?
I wouldn't say anything super crazy. There were definitely a few big ones. An Emmitt Smith Flawless 1 of 1 I sold probably about a year ago for over $5,000. So that was definitely my biggest one.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice.
It's just, you never know what's going to pop up. You're always going to look for the next card, the next deal.
Emmitt Smith Flawless 1 of 1. Ooh. That sounds really cool. I'm sure you, back of your mind, you really wanted to keep that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was tough to get rid of, but you just couldn't say no to it.
All right, well, so how long have you been a collector personally, outside of just being a vendor?
So I started collecting in 2011. I started collecting when I was 8. So I collected from like 2011 to 2015 is kind of when I got out of it. So I would say those 4 years I would go to shows and, open packs or what have you. And then obviously get back into it in 2020. I've been doing it for a little while.
Got it. Cool. So most of your life, I guess you could say, 8 years old or 11 years old. And I guess, we don't, everything before 11 is kind of a blur, right? So the big question I have for you, that is, in your collection, what is your favorite card?
My favorite card I actually own 2 of them. It is a Immaculate Collection, triple autograph, Roger Staubach, Lance Allworth, and Mike Ditka.
Ooh.
I specifically collect Super Bowl VI, and obviously those 3 Hall of Famers. Allworth had a career with the Chargers. Ditka had a career with the Bears. They came over and they won a Super Bowl together. So that is a prize. 2 pieces of my collection. Definitely my holy grail.
Got it. Well, so you deal a lot with not necessarily vintage cards themselves, although I have seen you sell vintage cards, but specifically you really like vintage players. You like players from 50s, 60s, 70s. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like why, like you're a young guy. What are you, in your mid 20s? So why do you like Mike Ditka, for instance?
So when I, growing up, I loved just the history of football. So I guess that kind of went into when I decided, my business plan going into all of this is these guys, their values aren't going to change overnight like the guys playing today. So there's not nearly as much risk. There's no risk on my end. And it's a lot more fun to collect that way.
I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. I hear you, because I was similar, in which I've been collecting since I was a kid. But I think I kind of fell out of it maybe 10 years ago, and I took some time off. I was focused on my career, and I just didn't have time for it. but started getting back into it end of 2023. And I guess when I started getting back into it, I was really kind of caught up in the hype, and I was watching football, and I was like, this guy looks awesome, like Zach Moss and Brees Hall. And I would see these guys like Kenneth Walker III. I would see these guys play. I'm like, man, these guys are awesome. I'm going to buy their cards. And, so I think I started kind of in this frenzy of, hey, these guys are cool, they're cheap, they're $20-$30 for a card, all the modern stuff. And then I think as I don't know, probably over the last maybe month or so, I think I started getting exposed to more vintage cards. And so at a card show, I ended up picking up some vintage cards, Walter Payton, Staubach, Jim Brown. And I've personally kind of felt that it's just a lot more special because like the modern cards, they're so overprinted, and they're so, I guess you could say, complicated. Like there's like 30 variations for every single, set. And there's like within a set, there's like 10 different subsets, right? So like, it's just so complicated that sometimes when you go back and you look at like the 1958 Jim Brown, you look at that card and like, it's just pure. It's just pure. So I get you. I think there's some real respect and appreciation for kind of the classics, right? Just where it began. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. I completely
agree with that.
I think our big question for you, I guess we really wanted to get to this part was, well, tell us about this deal. So this is, I think you said it was like over 200 cards, right? So over 200 Jason Witten auto cards, and not all Jason Witten. I think there were a couple that had Romo in it and so forth, but $20,000 of value. Like, what's going through your mind? Like, how are you evaluating that deal? How are you deciding to pull the trigger and making sure that you're actually going to make money? And like, how does that feel to make that $20,000 commitment?
It was definitely, I would say it's definitely one of the more riskier purchases I've ever made in buying collections and deals. It was something that I've never, avenued towards, buying a player collection. But it's one of those things. I think the hobby is very competitive right now. So you have to take every chance you get if you want to, make it. So I just, I sat down where I'd feel comfortable, really evaluate each and every card. So it definitely took a while to evaluate, got to myself, got to a point where I was comfortable, and then just went from there.
That's a really good point that you make there. I think that it's key for maybe my viewers to understand this. And I think for anyone to understand this, I think sometimes people on the outside looking in, or maybe just sort of like casually collecting, I think they underestimate the level of effort that should go into collecting and or reselling, right? It's not easy to make money in this world in anything. And why would sports cards be any different, right? So if you want to make money, if you want to, let's say, get a good deal, it definitely requires effort. It requires effort. It requires sitting down, doing your homework. So just the thought of you, I know we have had a few deals where, I think I've evaluated like 10 to 15 cards in one spreadsheet. So I know that can be sometimes a little bit of a headache because we're going back and forth and like, what's this card? What's that card? And I have to make a spreadsheet for you so that I can have a clear offer sheet for you. That's like 15 cards. So you would do that on a whole nother level, like 215 cards. So I imagine it was required some patience.
It definitely did. I mean, it wasn't like all that I got was just a group picture, no front. I mean, no back, no sets, no years. So, I mean, it was just a lot. And something like that, it comes based on experience. I've seen these cards before. I kind of know what they're worth. I know when they're coming out. So that definitely played a big part into me evaluating this whole thing, is just experience.
Got it. Okay. Well, it's really awesome. I loved seeing the video of all the cards on the table. I loved seeing you flip through the top 50 cards. Some of those cards were insane, just immaculate, flawless, immaculate. Some of them were graded, just beautiful cards. So just for my viewers, as part of this video and this process and this experience, I wanted to make sure I was buying some stuff from Darin. So I did buy, how many cards? Was it 6?
Let me grab them. I got them right here. Yeah, I got 3 cards for you here, and then the ones from last night.
Yep. It was the first 3, and then I think 2 more. Yeah, so 5, right? So I wanted to make sure to buy some of these cards as part of just this video, because I wanted to cap it off. So a couple of them were just because I was looking for Dak right? So I think a couple Daks, but the Dak, the National Treasures. So that's a sweet card. And then the other one was from Prism, both of them being the rookie cards. This one having the sticker to shows that it was real. But then the first card that I bought from you as part of this deal was the graded Witten. And that one was that was the best. I think that was in your top 10.
Yeah, it was.
And I wanted to make sure I got one of those top 10s. And then I got two more yesterday, which wasn't in your top 10. But I think it was sort of like, I think you had already sold through over 150 of your cards, right? You had like 40 left, and I think I picked like one of the best two. I picked one that I really resonated because I liked the card, the inscriptions. That was really cool. And then I picked I got a 1 of 1. So I'm excited to get those cards and showcase that for everyone. So what we'll get to now then is sort of our last couple of questions. I think the second to last one is knowing the experience you've had and I guess just how much exposure you've seen and you've been a part of from the collecting side and the vendor side. What advice might you have for my viewers, both, anyone who's trying to be a collector or maybe someone who's maybe thinking about investing or even selling?
I think the number one would be, as a collector, you got to collect what you love no matter what. I think you mentioned that whenever you buy into the hype, you see these guys, 200-yard receiving games or a quarterback throw for 500 yards, you want to go out and buy their card. But then, they might get hurt or a couple of games later, they're not doing so well. So I think at the end of the day, monetary value aside, if you have something that you love, it doesn't matter how much it's worth. That's the most important thing, is what it means to you. And then I guess you can go along that with the reselling side, at least for me, that at the end of the day, if these cards, go down in value, they still mean something. These Hall of Fame players and legends, their accomplishments aren't going anywhere.
That makes sense. That's cool. Yeah. So focus on what you love, and maybe have some patience, and maybe don't just jump in with all the hype and go after maybe players that might have, I guess kind of solidified value. Right. So if you buy into Mike Ditka or Tony Dorsett or Walter Payton or Jim Brown, you're buying a piece of history that's you can never take away. Whereas if you buy some random player who's playing today, they may or may not go up, go down. But if it's your team and you love that player, then have at it. But be careful speculating, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, let's end it this way. So obviously, I think one of the big reasons I wanted to do this video is I wanted to expose you to my audience, let them have some entertainment and see this crazy deal, but also let them have access to you and reach out to you and partake maybe in some of these sales you do, right? So for anyone who might want to find you online and buy some of your cards, how might they do that?
So I do some story sales once in a while on my Instagram at Doomsday Cards. And then on Facebook, I have a business page, Doomsday Cards and Memorabilia. I don't really do sales on there, but I pretty much post all of my pickups and mail days. So you got to have access of what inventory I have available.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. And then, so if they go to your Facebook and they see something they like, then they can just reach out to you and do a deal that way. And you also do sales on anything collectible goes too, right? Is there a Facebook group?
Yes, Facebook group.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, I mean, I think that's all we had. I really appreciate you joining. Was there anything else you kind of wanted to cap it off with?
No, I think it was great. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Logan's page. It's definitely a lot of quality videos.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but it's been a lot of work, and I think that it's been fun. I think a lot of my regular viewers have sort of seen the evolution and enjoy the kind of the breadth of videos they get. So I hope this one was a really fun one. Like Darin said, if you could hit that like button, if you could subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and definitely leave us a comment in this video, in the comment section of this video. Give Darin a shout out. Let him know what you thought about the deal. Let him know what you thought about maybe any of his advice, his cards, any of the cards. They might all be gone, the ones you saw in the video, but if you really liked one, just let us know. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks to everyone for joining, and thanks Darin for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. All right. So as you saw, we had a wonderful interview. Amazing card collection that Darin shared with us. We're very fortunate to have him be one of our friends and have him on this channel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 3 cards that I bought from this collection just for this video. All right, card number 1. Here we are, 2017. This is from Impeccable. This is Pro Bowl Autos. It's numbered to 10, so it's 6 of 10. It's a beautiful card. It's on card. Look at that patch. It's really, really cool. Now it is not a game worn patch. It's just more of a card design. 10 Pro Bowl appearances by Jason Witten, and it's graded by BGS 9.5. And if you look at the subgrades, really, really good. 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9. So this is really, really close to being a Gem Mint Plus. So a beautiful card. We paid $150 for this. So super excited. This is probably one of my best Jason Witten cards in my collection now. All right, now our next card, I love this set. This is from Pinnacle. Now this is from 2019. It is Pinnacle Inscriptions. It is numbered 49 of 50. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. I forget, I think this comes out of Zenith nowadays. Over time, it might have come out of different sets, but it is the same subset, Pinnacle Inscriptions. I've got a couple other cards of other players of this. I actually pulled the Justin Jefferson card of this out of Zenith last year. Beautiful, beautiful card. We only paid $60 for this. So I think this is a smashing buy. I'm going to be looking to get more of these cards from some of my other PC players. And the last card, but not least, another epic card. We're talking about a 1 of 1, guys. A 1 of 1. This is from 2016, I believe. Yeah, there you go. 2016. Okay, this is private signings. You could see just the gold flare background. It's so beautiful. I love it. And this is a 1 of 1. So this is my first Jason Witten 1 of 1 card. We paid $150 for this one as well. So super excited to have these in our collection now. These 3 beautiful cards. And with that, guys, that's going to do it. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you haven't already, I would appreciate you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It'll really help me continue to bring these videos to you and get this channel out to more people. So with that, I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you again later. Bye-bye now.